Blah, blah, blah. What's up, y'all? It's Marcellus Wiley, that dude. Let's talk about what y'all talking about, which is Colin Cowherd Ryen Russillo talking about Stephen A. Smith being overexposed, maybe underprepared for ESPN's draft coverage. And that got slammed, criticized, killed ESPN's NBA draft coverage. Unfairly criticizing Stephen A. Smith. We're going to take you deep into that process and let you know that maybe y'all should chill and stall Stephen A. Smith out. Yes, I'm saying that this is not on Stephen A. Smith, and we're going to talk about that, dive deep into that. But before we do all that, make sure you guys support this channel, support the community, projecttransition.org. Go there, leave your email, see all the work we're doing. You guys want to have greater impact, make a donation or become a gym member. Being a gym member, you will be giving every single month to all the things we do in our skills camps for these kids, get them exposed and experiences so they can become the best version of themselves. Like my man Hussein Beatty, who won this book and this bookmark, autographed it for him and all that is coming to your doorstep. Be like Hussein Beatty and support Project Transition. Okay, now let's support our channel by doing some work. Let's talk about what Colin Cowherd and Ryen Russillo was talking about, because I thought this was fascinating. We are going behind the scenes and let you guys know how it really goes down. Peep gang.
You know, I don't really feel like talking about Stephen A. all that much, and you know, hell, my contract's up here too. So like, what am I going to start doing? Ripping everybody everywhere, right? That wouldn't make a ton of sense. I think I would ask anyone this. It's like the draft itself is a huge commitment to be prepared for that.
Oh, my God.
Right?
I had to speed this up because it's a lot I want to cover. Did you hear that reaction? Did you see that reaction? The draft is a bear. A bear. When it's time to draft, and look, NBA is a little easier because it's only 2 rounds, 60 players, and then you got to look and know more than 60 because some won't get drafted that they expected to, and some will get drafted that you didn't expect. So you got to over-prepare, obviously. But they give you this big pamphlet and book, and it has every player in there imaginable that will get drafted, right? And you're supposed to know who they are. Now, a lot of times it's a paragraph or 2 about them, depends on who they are. And what you see a lot of times in draft coverage is they're going around the room and then we're trying to see who read that manual, who read that pamphlet. Just like in high school, just like a group project, who did their part, right? And a lot of times we've seen it, whether it's Stephen A. Smith, it could be Charles Barkley, whoever it is, it's pretty obvious when you see somebody who's winging it. As Colin Cowherd would call him, a generalist. They're being very general about something specific. So if a guy gets drafted from Akron, and you're like, damn, I ain't watched no damn Akron games. Okay, what's this guy's name? Jeff Schwartz, I don't know. Oh, Jeff Schwartz from Akron, I don't know who he is. That pamphlet told you who he is. Now, the goal is, if you don't know it in that moment, flip them pages real quick and get to the Jeff Schwartz, read it, and try to regurgitate it, but put it in your own words. Good luck with that 60 times, right? So they're breaking this down and saying what Stephen A. Smith is getting caught up in is part that, but it's also more.
And so I used to drive myself crazy just having to do the radio thing, and then I would host the Combine for television. I did that for like 5 years, and I love the draft. It's my favorite sporting event of the entire year. But what I'd ask certain people is, do you just want to be on the marquee event without any concern for how prepared you are or how much goes into this? And that's where I think it's either somebody who's working too much. You could say, hey, this person's spread really thin. But, you know, I just feel like it happens a lot in our industry. It's like, do you want the title or do you want the job?
Break that down. Put that up. Wileyism. You want the title, you want the job, because the job comes with the work. The title just comes with the glory, comes with the recognition, comes with the fame. Look, in these positions, everybody wants both. But, you know, if you had to make me pick, give me the title. I ain't got to try and do all that work, right? I'm good enough. I have the gift of gab. I can wing it. And I remember when I did my first draft coverage, I was like, and you know me, I like to do homework, and I like to research. I like to go deeper, but I was like, who is this kid? What school did he go to? How well does he play? Like you're reading it, and it just becomes like white noise in your head. You're like, I don't know what the hell. Like everybody knows, like if you had to do this year's draft, you know who Cam Ward is. You could wing that and not even study it. You'd be like, all right, Cam Ward, you transferred to the news. Miami, you could do that. Should do it right there. Then they start getting into some guys. You're like, who, what, when? He went to what school? Wichita State, what? That's the point. So There's more to it too. It's crazy. And cats getting called out and cats are getting exposed.
And I think a lot of guys love the title. And if people are going to let you do whatever you want to do, then what are you supposed to say? No. But I look at some of the thoughts around like, oh, this person's a huge star, so we'd like to get him involved here, like to get him involved there. It's like, my first thought is if I were offered something, it's like, am I even ready to be on this broadcast? And if I wasn't, I'd be ashamed to be there.
I was on the NFL draft for 2 years on radio. And again, I'm a pretty good talker. I didn't feel, I kind of was like, oh, no. I shouldn't be stealing somebody's gig. I'm not going a mile deep. I mean, I read everything. I made calls, but I'm thinking, this is not me. This is not what I'm not good enough on this to do this. And I'm not knocking anybody who, there are certain people that they are so good on stuff, they should do it for the rest of their life. But it's interesting, as I've watched some of the criticism of people, and a lot of it's been Stephen A. And my takeaway is, man, I think in these marquee events, I think networks have to step in and just say, you got to have specialists. It's almost like
all right, there go Colin. It's almost like once he's doing that, you about to go somewhere deep, a mile deep, as he said. Become a gym member with Project Transition. As a giver every month, small gifts have a big impact in creating real change. Not only will you transform lives, you'll also win and unlock once-in-a-lifetime experiences. Join me, Marcellus Wiley, in making a real impact through Project Transition, a global giving community dedicated to uplifting underserved youth with mentorship, education, and access to real opportunities. Your donation doesn't just enter you to win unforgettable prizes and exclusive experiences with myself and other gym members. It fuels our mission to empower the next generation of leaders, dreamers, and game changers. From after-school programs, life skills camps, and career development, every dollar helps unlock potential where it's needed most and where every person makes a world of difference. Give back, win big, be the difference, be greater than your greatest excuse. Support Project Transition today. Become a gym member and help turn obstacles into opportunities. The real of it is, man, this ain't no Stephen A. Smith. He's the biggest star. Who wouldn't want to put Brad Pitt in the movie, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, even if he just don't know his lines, let him just be there. One of our senses is already satisfied in terms of visually. You see Stephen A. Smith there, it's big. So that's not on Stephen A. Smith. Now, doing all of the preparation so you can get out of just your comfort zone, so you can get out of just doing the same old thing, turning every show you're on into First Take, which means I'm going to debate something or I'm going to get loud on something. That's on Stephen A. Smith. But the opportunities, man, look, he going to take everything he can get. And more importantly, the preparation is on him. But I wanted y'all to understand how insanely crazy it is to prepare for this. The closest thing you can even think about is like a SAT prep. You remember those when you had to study everything and then you get to the test and you're like, oh, it's this. But I studied so much more. And it was so many things that you weren't fully understanding or comprehending or prepared for. And you still had to take it. And unless you're a specialist, unless you're somebody who's going to nail the math and the English of the SAT, the verbal and all that, unless you're a specialist, generally speaking, it's going to be a struggle. So I think the conversation really is start using your specialists. We know it's a big event. It's called the draft. We don't need it to be watered down by someone who hasn't fully prepared because, one, they can't fully prepare. They're too big. They're doing too much. The CEO of your company is Pat McAfee or Stephen A. Smith, right? Co-chairmen, as they would call them. You got them on draft coverage? Like, dog, you just listen, slow down and listen. What does Thomas Sowell say? Doesn't matter how smart you are if you don't stop and think. Stop and listen next time you watch draft coverage. You could tell who's a specialist and who's the generalist, right? You could tell who's really into it, who's really about it, and who's not. Colin Cowherd broke it down too. I've been there before where I'm like, dog, I'm out of my water. You know what I mean? This ain't my depth. This is crazy. And then you're self-conscious. You're examining every word you're spitting because you're like, what the hell? Did that sound right? Is that right? Did I say his name right? Does he play right tackle or left tackle? And there are some guys who are like, dog, I know all of that. That's why I have that show On the Rocks, the other show we have here, because my friends a lot of times have greater understanding of sports than me. I just got greater experiences. So I respect people who didn't play that actually know sports. I'm not the one to be like, oh, man, did you play? I don't do that, Kendrick Perkins. You ain't even play. Like, forget it. Because then you get into, well, then you ain't play as well as me, right? You know what I mean? Like, that's how it goes. And there's only a few thousand people that ever play football that are better than me. A few thousand. Think about it. It's been, 9 billion people on this planet right now? A few thousand? I can talk shit, but I don't. It's just like, I respect that you got a point too. You ain't have to play to have that point. All right, y'all. So I thought that was fascinating, really, because we got to kind of show you how the sausage is made and hear everybody say candidly, don't be doing no draft coverage, dog. And if you are, be prepared to get clowned. That's what's going to happen. So without further ado, you know what we do on this show, boy. We flow, boy. But before we do all that, we make sure we hook you guys up. Sit there. You got any debt, any level of debt, monitor debt resolution. That's your financial solution. I'm talking about personal debt, credit card debt, medical debt, student loan debt, all the debts. Your ex is tripping debt, court case debt. You got any debt, call Monitor Debt Resolution. Hundreds of you guys have, and a lot of you guys have worked out a plan like Ashley did. She's a single mother and she was stressed out. Now she's going to be debt free next year. That's you. I want to call you Ashley. Make sure you call Monitor Debt Resolution. That's your financial wellness solution. All right. And make sure you go to projecttransition.org. Always support the itty bitties in the community. So you know we doing this show, boy. We flow, boy. Oh, so pretty. Look at this. Draft coverage, huh? Let's talk that game. Let's give y'all some game. We took y'all behind the scenes. Yo, Russillo, Cowherd, talking real on the pod, saying Stephen A's everywhere, like he's God. But the draft takes work. This ain't no facade. Criticizing that, man, y'all odd. Russillo sitting back with a whiskey glass, saying Stephen A's grinding but wearing his ass. Like facts. He's on every broadcast. ESPN milking him like he's money in his stash. They got him doing First Take, the NBA too. Next they'll call Wimbledon just for revenue. But when the draft came around, fans start to boo. Like, you prepped 60 prospects and knew who's who? Nah. Look, Colin said, I keep it real. The draft is ungodly. That's a different skill. Researching colleges' heights, wingspan, and field. Stephen A's great, but the draft's a full meal. Ooh. Russillo laughed, said, I understand. It ain't like breaking down Braun with the ball in his hand. You need months of tape and a scouting clan. So let my dude breathe. He's only one man. Yeah, he overexposed, but that ain't his choice. ESPN got him everywhere with that loud voice. But if he messed up picks, don't rejoice. Draft night's a jungle. Better heed that boy. Oh, man. Damn, that was dope. But what was that last word? This is Marcellus Wiley with an urgent message for anyone struggling with over $10,000 in credit card debt. Here's what you need to do right now. Visit pt.monitordebt.com. They've helped thousands reduce what they owe by dealing directly with creditors, cutting balances by 30, 40, even 50%. This isn't a loan. This is a proven debt settlement program where you make affordable monthly deposits while they do the heavy lifting. Many clients become debt-free in 24 to 48 months. Don't wait another day drowning in interest. Call 866-204-0071 or visit pt.monitordebt.com. Your financial freedom is waiting. It's just one phone call away. It's been a decade plus that I knew that this day was going to come. Oh, this is not hyperbole here.
Because I think the verse.
Time to hydrate. Hydration's the situation, so.